I would like to quote Pablo Neruda's famous lines of his famous poem, I Explain a Few Things. You will ask why his poetry has nothing of the earth, of the leaves, of the grand volcanoes of his native country. Come and see the blood through the streets. Hello everyone and welcome back to Literature World. In this video we are going to do the unboxing of the book I was avidly waiting for, and finally I've got it. It's the book of poetry written by a Kashmiri poet. So let's see. So here is the book, The Chill in the Bones, a collection of poems by Wani Nazir, one of my literary comrades, a good friend and marvelous writer when it comes to poetry. So let's read the back cover. Wani Nazir is a poet of quiet emotions. His poetry is in the true Wordsworthian tradition of emotions recollected in tranquility. Lovely. Reading his poetry is no less than eavesdropping upon silent conversations with oneself that we all tend to have at one point or another in our life. His poems work like little spells that invoke our own fears and anxieties and little joys of life briefly before we return to everyday mundanity called life. And there are not many a poet today who can invoke such brief moments of despair and joy with such fineness and beauty better than Wani Nazir. Yeah, I myself read his poems. He's a marvelous, a lovely, a beautiful poet. This intrigues me to go through this book as soon as possible, and maybe I'm going to come up with a review, a video review. So I invite you to read this book, and maybe we'll share our ideas regarding this book later in the review session. I have put the link in the description. You can buy it from there and enjoy reading. Let me read a poem for you. I don't know, I'm randomly choosing a poem and that I'm going to read. So any poem. So Resurrection. Okay, so I'll read it and maybe you will enjoy and it will generate curiosity in you to get the book and read it. Resurrection. When the sluggish autumn squeezes impeccable beauty out of the roses by wilting the stalks and dispersing the petals so colorful, who will fancy that the spring breath, the coming year shall bring the whole flawed beauty together in the form of fresh roses? It is in between the two states that winter chill and the dress of snow conceal the sordidness and stains furtively to assemble the scraps of the beauty rendered ugly by the preceding autumn. Beauty resurrects every time it is buried under the thick layer of oblivion. This is lovely. I've already fallen in love with this book. So again, I employ you to go through this book. I especially employ all my students to go through this book, buy this book, and cherish each and every poem, deep read it. As I initially quoted Pablo Neruda, he was asked, why don't you write about the flowers, about the volcanoes, landscape, beauty? He mentioned these verses. Don't you see the blood in the streets? So these miseries do not let me write about the beauty and joy and love. I am torn with the misery of people, the pain of people, and that's what I'm writing about. So Now, Vani Nazir reminds me of Pablo Neruda. He wrote about misery of people, about the plight under the oppression and pain. So, thank you so much for watching this video. We'll see you in the next video. Till then, may God be with you all.